Hello again, my little conscripts, and welcome to another Mordian Glory video. In today's episode, we shall be casting our ever-critical eye over another 10th edition Codex Imperial Guard unit. And this time, we are going to be looking at one of the most iconic units in the Guard, the Commissar. And I'm going to say something. I'm going to make a bold take, a hot take. But I'm going to say that I think the Commissar is an absolute auto-include in every single Imperial Guard army list right now. I need to back that up. I need to back that up quickly. And so without further ado, let's get into this thing. As is tradition, we're going to start off with a review of the Commissar's datasheet first. And then towards the end of the video, we are going to get into the nitty gritty. Why he's such an important unit and why every guard commander should be taking him. Starting off, let's have a cheeky gander at the Commissar's stat line. Movement 6 is completely standard issue for a guard infantry based model. Remember that this movement can be boosted quite a lot via things like advance, plus the fact if the Commissar is leading a unit, he can actually benefit from things like move. He doesn't have the regimental keyword normally, so if he's on his own, he can't receive any orders, but if he's leading a unit, he absolutely can do. So you can get this guy to be moving a bit quicker than 6 inches, but by and large, 6 inch move, pretty normal for the guard. He's toughness 3 with a 5+ save and 3 wounds, which does bring him in line with most guard hero or platoon level characters, but he does have a 5+ invulnerable save. And I have to say I'm surprised at that, because a lot of the lower level guard characters did lose their invulnerable saves. Think about platoon commanders, they all used to have refractor shields, they all used to have a 5+ invulnerable save, and that all got taken away, but the Commissar managed to retain his. Is it going to save him? Probably not. He's still only got 3 wounds and he's still only toughness 3 and it's only a 5+, so whatever. But it's nice, and occasionally it will allow, very occasionally, I'm talking like maybe 1 in 20 games, it will allow your Commissar to survive something that he probably should die to. The best bit about the Commissar's stat line is the fact that he is one of the very few guard units which has a 6+ leadership. Pretty much every other guard unit we've looked at, if you've ever watched any of my other reviews, I tend to breeze past the leadership. It's like, oh, it's 7+ standard issue. Commissar's a 6+. When he's leading a unit, that means the whole unit is leadership 6+. And if you then order the Commissar's unit duty and honor, which gives them extra OC but also gives them extra leadership, they'll actually be on a 5+. This means that Commissars are really good for passing Battle Shock. Battle Shock is a funny mechanic, because 99% of the time it seems like it's very low impact on the game. But then there's that 1% of the time where it completely screws you. Failing a key Battle Shock test denies you an order. Maybe that denies you a key bit of firepower. Maybe it denies you move, so you can't get to an objective that you really need to get to for either primary game or for secondary game. Being able to get up to leadership 5 on pretty much any guard infantry unit, any guard infantry battle line unit, we can see the list of things he can lead here. It's not a vital thing, but it is a thing with a lot of potential. But the most important part about the Commissar's stat line is none of this. It's this last stat line here. Objective Control 1. For most units, especially heroes, Objective Control 1 isn't a very big deal. But as you'll have to see at the end of the video, I know I'm blue balling you. I'm making you wait. To be honest, you could just skip ahead, but you know, got to build that tension up, you know, the anticipation. All I'm going to say is when we get to the end of this video, that OC1 is going to be the reason why he's an auto-include. And if you're very curious about why that is, like I said, you have to watch and find out, won't you? Moving swiftly on, trying to edge you guys too much, let's go from his stat line to his weapons and war gear. So he comes equipped with a bolt pistol and a chainsword. You can swap the bolt pistol for a plasma pistol. You should do this. You can swap the chainsword for a power weapon. Again, you should do this. Look at the bolt pistol. Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. Look at the plasma pistol. Hefty, hefty, hefty. Always be taking the plasma pistol. The bolt pistol might be the iconic weapon of the Guard Commissars, but it's not the best weapon. Be plasma in all the time. Same with the power weapon. I mean, oh look, you get an extra attack with a chainsaw. Yeah, but I also get extra strength, extra AP with the power sword. Always be taking the power weapon. Always be taking the plasma pistol. The power weapon is so-so. Guard melee is a bit trash. But the plasma pistol actually is something that shouldn't be overlooked. If you're taking Commissars inside units, it's an extra plasma pistol, which you can add to a squad that wouldn't normally have them, like Caden shock troops and Captain Jungle Fighters. But also, it's an extra weapon that can benefit from take aim. So he does hit on 2s with his plasma pistol. And if you're in something like a siege attachment, plasma pistol can actually end up getting 2 shots because of the Furious Fuselage stratagem. Most of the time, you're not taking the in fact, nearly every single time, you're not taking the Commissar for his damage output. But a plasma pistol is a plasma pistol, and an extra few of those can actually have an impact on a game. In theory, the number one reason you're taking the Commissar, though, is not for his stat line, it's not for his damage output, but is for his abilities. In theory. Because he's a guard officer style character, and so he's meant to be a big force multiplier. That's his bag, baby. So if we look at summary execution first, once per battle round at the start of any phase, you can select one friendly Astra Militarum infantry unit that is battle shocked and within 12 inches of this model. If you do, one model in the unit is destroyed and that unit is then no longer battle shocked. This is both a very good ability and a bit of a shit one at the same time. So firstly, it's only one unit. I have made this mistake in the past. I know many other people have made this mistake in the past as well. You can't have one Commissar sat in your arm and he's just going around emptying clips as he's blatting one person from each squad within 12 inches of him. No, he only gets the chance to blat one guy a battle round. Now what's interesting is this can be done once per battle round at the start of any phase. That's both your phase and your opponent's phase. Now, when most people look at this ability, they think in terms of, okay, well, at the beginning of the turn, one of my units might be below half strength, it fails a battle shock, and then I use the Commissar to blat them and they pass the battle shock. That's fine. That's probably the more common way of thinking about using this ability, but it's not the best way. The best way of thinking about this ability is using it in your opponent's turn. Your opponent is trying to score some sort of secondary objective. And maybe it's secure no man's land. You've got some units on an objective. They've got some units on an objective. And they're like, okay, or perhaps there's some key unit on your side. They need to battle shock to get rid of some ability or some order. So that then when they charge and when they shoot you, that's it. You're easy to kill. Maybe you've got take cover on a unit. If they hit you with something that causes battle shock and then you fail, that goes away. That makes it easier for them to get you. But if you go bang summary execution in your opponent's turn, you can keep on that objective. You can keep scoring the points. You can deny them stuff. The fact that it's at the start of any phase in any battle round is really, well, every battle round I should say, but once per battle round, actually opens up a lot of nuance to it. To put this in perspective, it's similar to how the Kazakin ability has changed. Warrior Elite used to be you could basically order yourself in your turn. Now Kazakin could order themselves at the start of any phase. And it's become a lot better because of that, a lot more flexible. The Commissar's ability is similar. Using it at the start of your own turn is fine. Using it in your opponent's turn is where you actually might get the most mileage out of it. Now there's one reason why I'm not a big fan of summary execution. It's because you have to order your unit. In terms of the sequencing of things, you have to order your unit, then they take a battle shock test. Then if they fail that battle shock test, the order immediately goes away. Then if you summary execute them, they're no longer battle shock, but the order doesn't come back. The order's already been lost. So that's why in relation to orders, I actually find summary execution to be a bit lacking. I wish it gave protection. I wish it gave protection against looting orders. If it did, the Commissar would be genuinely S tier. genuinely S tier. He is S tier. He is S tier, but I think he's S tier for ungenuine reasons, as we'll see at the end. Another ability of the Commissar is Political Overwatch. I always forget this ability exists. While another officer model is in the same unit as this model, you can reroll battle shock tests taken for that unit. That's actually really good. That's actually really good. If you ever face it off against Tyranids, they start like slapping down Shadow of the Warp and all this kind of stuff. Just having a Commissar watching over a key blob and getting a free reroll on battle shock tests, especially potentially being on Leadership 5 between Duty on and Leadership 6, it's really good. I think the reason I never use it is because I rarely have my Commissars leading a unit. Foreshadowing.
If you will not serve in combat, then you will serve on the firing line.
Finally, the Commissar can do orders. He is an officer. He has the officer keyword. He is an officer. Unfortunately, they kind of screwed it up because he can only do one order and he can only order duty on it and fix bayonets. Love the flavor. Love the flavor of this. The fact that the Commissar can only do orders that are kind of that kind of feel commissariatly-ish, whatever you want to call it. They feel appropriate for the Commissar. Love the flavor. Hate the battlefield usability. I just want to order people to take aim, frankly, and move. Truthfully, he should be able to order move. He should. Maybe not move. I think if you just added move to this list, the Commissar would become a really good unit for leading. But duty and honor and fixed bayonets. I know I've been hyping up duty and honor a lot, but it is still a more niche order over things like move and take aim. At the end of the day, these are the fun orders. Duty and honor can sometimes be a clutch order, but they are not the main go-to orders, and they're just a little bit limiting. Side note, if GW allowed the Commissar to lead Oghren and Bulgrin, then I wouldn't be complaining about this, because the idea of having a cheap way of being able to fix bayonets on an Oghren or a Bulgrin would be amazing. There's a few missed opportunities with the Commissar and with other units in the Guard, especially around what units can be led by what characters. Traditionally, Commissars and Oghrens actually did work together. That's a big thing in the lore. It would be good to see GW correct that, either in a recent balance, in the next balance update, although we have been asking for it for 2 years at this point, they've still not done it, or to see it in, let's say, 11th edition. So to sum up so far, the Commissar is a low-level character with fairly unremarkable damage output and some interesting yet limited abilities, from summary execution to the orders that he can do. So if you were to look at this datasheet, you would think it was a bit shit, really, wouldn't you? You think it was a bit trash. You're like, I'm never taking a Commissar in my army. You would be wrong. Very, very wrong. Remember I said that OC was the most important part of the Commissar's datasheet? We're going to talk about that now. Guard's got a problem at the moment. It's been on the horizon for a while, but I think it's really come home with the last New Field manual. Units for doing secondary objectives have got more and more expensive. The traditional 5-man Scion squad that can deep strike down and do an objective like behind enemy lines or establish locus is now 70 points. Beginning of the edition, it was 50. And 50 points is about what I'm willing to spend on a unit that I fully expect to die and that I might not draw the right card on the right turn, so they might not be able to do the job that I brought them for. 50 points is what I'm willing to give a go on that. 70 points? Nuh-uh. I used to like taking 2 5-man Scion squads, and I was willing to spend 100 points on it. Then they kept increasing the points and increasing the points. And now if I want to do that, it's going to cost me 140 points. And if I take just one of them, 70 points is too buku. It's too much. And then you've got units like Gaunt's Ghosts, which are a similar stand-in, similar capabilities. And Gaunt's Ghosts are a good unit. I do want to do a video on those. But Gaunt's Ghosts bring more to the table. They're more expensive, about 110 points. But they bring more to the table. They can do Infiltrate Denial. They can do Orders. They have Lone Op. They can do Secondary Game. They can do Primary Game. Gaunt goes to 110 points. And for the first time, I think, in 2 years of 10th edition, I actually feel like Gaunt's Ghosts properly beat out Scions now. But they're 110 points. They're a premium luxury unit, and they come with a premium luxury price tag. And if you're like me and you're tight-fisted and you squeeze every point and you want every single point to be getting, you want to be getting the most out of every single point, and you'd rather, and also if you want a unit that's a bit more specialized, rather than having a unit like Gaunt's Ghost where you're paying 110 points for all these different abilities, but you can rarely use all of these abilities in one turn, I'd rather spend less points for a unit that can do one thing well. This is where the Commissar comes in. 30 points. The Commissar is our cheapest secondary game unit. He is 30 points for a unit that comes with some objective control. In the past, we used to use things like Cyclops demolition vehicles for this, but they only have OC0, and GW updated the game. They had the FAQ, which said that OC units couldn't do actions, and they couldn't count for like certain secondaries and stuff. Well, the Commissar has OC1. He's only 5 points more than a Cyclops demolition vehicle. So how you want to be using this guy, how you want to be taking advantage of this guy, is you want to be taking 1, maybe 2, but I think 1 is enough. 1 Commissar and putting in strategic reserve every single time. You want to be using this guy doing secondaries. Oh, I need to be able to establish locus on turn 3. Put the Commissar in reserve. Oh, I need to be able to get engaged in all fronts. Turn 2, turn 3. Oh, that's okay. I can do that. Yeah, no problem. I can have a unit available to do that. He is very small in terms of his footprint. He's one model with like a 32mm base. He's one small model with objective control that can do secondary game all the time. And you know what? He's also very flexible, because you don't have to put in strategic reserve every time. You should be putting in strategic reserve 9 times out of 10. But let's say you come across an army which has got great screening. It's a horde army, and you're like, this guy's never going to get in my opponent's deployment zone. This guy's never going to be able to do the secondary game that I want him for. Well, that's okay, because he's still a leader. So the primary reason you take this guy is because he is doing your secondary points for you. And you don't want to be spending many points on doing that. He's a little limited because of strategic reserve. So 30 points, bang on Commissar in reserve. I've done this. I find it very, very effective. But then you get into a game where he's not going to be able to achieve that. You go, okay, mate, just join one of the infantry platoons. Join one of the infantry platoons. Give my army a bit of extra leadership. Use your summary execution ability. He's very, very, very good, because when he can't do his primary job of secondaries, he can do his secondary job very effectively of being a small force multiplier. At least that's what I think. But of course, all of this is just like my opinion, man. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Do you think the Commissar is now an auto-include? Because a lot of the secondary game units around him have been nerfed, and nerfed again. Or do you think that he's still just not worth it? Personally, I'm taking Scion Squads out of my list. I'm not taking double Scion Squad. I'm not taking one Scion Squad. I'm probably going to be putting 1, if not 2 Commissars in every single one of my lists going forward. It's cheap, it's effective, and it gets me a lot of points. But your mileage may vary. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that like button, and of course subscribe to never miss an episode. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure, and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing, truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full time without the incredible and generous support of my members, so thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bonbon Vert, Lord Pryor, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Barney. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.